A hero is born among 100, a wise man is found among 1,000, but an accomplished one might not be found even among 100,000 men. Excellence is not a gift, but a skill that takes practice. We do not act rightly because we are excellent. In fact, we achieve excellence by acting rightly. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. The first and best victory is to conquer yourself. Courage is knowing what not to fear. The beginning is the most important part of the work. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. Do not train a child to learn by force or harshness, but direct them to it by what amuses their minds. You can discover more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. Ignorance, the root and stem of every evil. We are twice armed if we fight with faith. Reality is created by the mind. We can change our reality by changing our mind. Justice means minding your own business and not meddling with other men's concerns. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. The measure of a man is what he does with power. He who wishes to serve his country must have not only the power to think, but the will to act. He who is of calm and happy nature will hardly feel the pressure of age. Man is a being in search of meaning. Attention to health is life's greatest hindrance. To love rightly is to love what is orderly and beautiful in an educated and disciplined way. Rhetoric is the art of ruling the minds of men. The direction in which education starts a man will determine his future life. Better a little which is well done than a great deal imperfectly. Nothing in the affairs of men is worthy of great anxiety. At the touch of love, everyone becomes a poet. Knowledge without justice ought to be called cunning rather than wisdom.
A good decision is based on knowledge and not on numbers. Thinking, the talking of the soul with itself. The soul takes flight to the world that is invisible, but there arriving she is sure of bliss and forever dwells in paradise. Those who are able to see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will never be understood, let alone believed, by the masses. Truth is the beginning of every good to the gods, and of every good to man. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help, and what they cannot. The price good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. An empty vessel makes the loudest sound, so they that have the least wit are the greatest babblers. The one who learns and doesn't practice is like one who plows and never plants. Knowledge becomes evil if the aim be not virtuous. Good actions give strength to ourselves and inspire good actions in others. To prefer evil to good is not in human nature. Justice in the life and conduct of the state is possible only as first it resides in the hearts and souls of the citizens. The greatest mistake doctors make is that they attempt to cure the body, without attempting to cure the mind, yet the mind and body are one and should not be treated separately. He who commits injustice is ever made more wretched than he who suffers it. The man who makes everything that leads to happiness depend upon himself, and not upon other men, has adopted the very best plan for living happily. The object of education is to teach us to love what is beautiful. To be afraid of death is only another form of thinking that one is wise when one is not. He who is not a good servant will not be a good master. The madness of love is the greatest of heaven's blessings. The unexamined life is not worth living. Wealth and poverty, one is the parent of luxury and indolence, and the other of meanness and viciousness, and both of discontent. No wealth can ever make a bad man at peace with himself. The greatest privilege of a human life is to become a midwife to the awakening of the soul in another person. Virtue does not come from wealth, but wealth, and every other good thing which men have comes from virtue. Justice will be found when each part does its own work. All learning has an emotional base. Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. No man should bring children into the world who is unwilling to persevere to the end in their nurture and education. As the builders say, the larger stones do not lie well without the lesser.